Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. And today we'll be discussing whether or not the bloodline of the famous wizarding family, the Dumbledores, died out with Aberforth Dumbledore. The most famous member of the Dumbledore family is, of course, Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore, who was arguably the most powerful wizard of the 20th century. As the beloved headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, recipient of Order of Merlin First Class, former Supreme Mugwump of the International Confederation of Wizards, and chief Warlock of the Wizengamot, Albus Dumbledore achieved a great many things while he was alive. However, one thing that he did not accomplish during his storied lifetime was the progression of his family's bloodline. Albus never married, nor did he have any children, and as the majority of you watching this will know, he tragically met his demise in 1997 at the hands of his friend and ally, Professor Severus Snape. So, with Albus's death, was there anyone else in the Dumbledore family left to carry on the family line? Why, yes, there was, but how much further these family members managed to grow the family tree is unclear. So, in order to get a better sense, let's take a look at the various members of the Dumbledore family that we know of. To start with, there was Albus's father, Percival Dumbledore. Now, Percival was an English wizard who raised his young family primarily in the wizarding village of Mold on the Wold during the latter half of the 19th century. Together with his wife Kendra, a Muggle-born British witch, the pair had 3 children, Albus, Aberforth, and Ariana. But before we dive too far into the offspring of Kendra and Percival, let's first take a look at whether or not either of these two had any other family that could have continued the Dumbledore bloodline. Since Kendra wasn't born a Dumbledore, her family history doesn't play into the continuation of this particular bloodline. But what about Percival? Did he have any siblings or Dumbledore cousins? While the wider wizarding world has not documented accounts of any cousins, we do know that he may have had a sister named Honoria. In Albus's notes on The Warlock's Hairy Heart, a story from the Tales of Beedle the Bard, he makes mention of his maiden aunt, Honoria. Unfortunately, he doesn't include her surname in his reference, which means she could have been either Kendra's or Percival's sister. But even if she were Honoria Dumbledore, Albus's description of her as a maiden suggests that she never married and presumably never had any children. Which brings us back to the offspring of Kendra and Percival themselves. Albus, as we've already covered, met his end in 1997 without any heirs. Ariana also died tragically young, as the result of an accident and her condition as an obscurial. Since Ariana would have only been 14 at the time of her death, and in consideration of her health, it seems pretty clear that she also died without having any children, which leaves Aberforth. As we learn in Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, Aberforth did indeed have a child. While he never married, he had an affair in his youth with a young witch, which resulted in his lover becoming pregnant. The young witch was then sent away by her family and had the child in secret. The baby, named Aurelius Dumbledore, lived with his mother for a year after he was born, but was ultimately given up for adoption in America. Once in the United States, a woman named Mary Lou Barebone adopted Aurelius and changed his name to Credence. Mary Lou was a cruel woman and leader of an anti-witchcraft group called the New Salem Philanthropic Society. In noticing Credence's magical capabilities, Mary Lou attempted to physically beat and emotionally manipulate his abilities out of him. This abuse led to Credence feeling great shame about himself, and he attempted to suppress his magic. Tragically, in trying to extinguish his magic, he became an obscurial, much like his biological aunt, Ariana Dumbledore. He was inevitably convinced to join Gellert Grindelwald, who revealed Aurelius's true identity to him. By the end of The Secrets of Dumbledore, Aurelius appears to be rather unwell, with not a lot of life left in him. This is due to the fact that he is an obscurial, as most witches and wizards who suffer from this condition do not live much past their preteen years. In fact, Aurelius had already lived much longer than most other known obscurials. Whether or not he was able to survive long enough to possibly carry on his bloodline or not remains somewhat of a mystery, although it does seem unlikely. As for Aberforth, from what we know about him through the Harry Potter series, it does not appear as though he ever had any other children after Aurelius. And so, in my opinion, it seems most likely that Aurelius died long before the events of Harry Potter, as did Ariana. Albus then died, leaving Aberforth, who was childless by that time, meaning that, yes, Aberforth was the last of the Dumbledore bloodline. Of course, this is true only if there aren't any other branches of the Dumbledore family tree that we aren't aware of. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. What did you think? Do you agree that the Dumbledore bloodline, as we know it, died with Aberforth? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and to forget to live.